This is my dear trusted friend, but a couple of weeks ago, this happened. And now it's right there, so is it dead? Is it alive? Do we still have hope? Let me share what happened, because I am still very confused. I've been into ultra-wide monitors for a while, and I've seen quite some YouTube videos with people sharing their productive setups and multiple window perfect organization thing. And I really wanted to make a video about my monitor because first of all, it's really cool, and second, because YouTube really needs some realism. But I haven't gotten to make the video because my monitor decided to do something else. Imagine a regular workday. I was on a call looking at my colleagues and everything was fine, and at some point I realized that I'm feeling kind of nauseous while looking at my colleagues, and I have to say I work in a pretty decent team, and that's not what usually happens. Then the call ended and I continued to work, but something was really off. It took me way longer than it should have to understand that my monitor was flickering like crazy. I mean, to be fair, as software engineers, when we look at the monitor, we usually see things that we don't like. Tagged up, a mountain of tasks in the backlog, thousands of modified files generated by AI. So flickering monitor did not look like anything to me. But unfortunately, apparently, you get crazy headaches from that. And at some point, I had to admit that it was happening. As you can imagine, what follows was the frantic changing of the cables, trying out different cables and different power outlets, and whatever magical dance I could come up with, because I was in complete denial that something could be wrong with my dear and precious monitor. I had this monitor for 2 years and 2 months, 3 months. And of course, as you can extrapolate from this information, the warranty period is 2 years. I talked to our all-knowing creature, ChatGPT, and it said, well, a new certified cable might help, or maybe just leave it be for a little bit. But if the flickering still happens when no device is connected, the panel is probably fried and you're doomed. Let me tell you, it was flickering when no device was connected. So here I was with no warranty, no hope, and 1500 or something monitor completely dead staring at me. I mean, it did have some good sense to break down on Black Friday, but I am not really ready to spend another 1500 on a monitor, and I was also really not mentally ready to downgrade. After contacting the store, there was an option to bring it there, supposedly for repairs, so the monitor took some trip. And let me tell you, moving a 40-inch monitor in a car is more difficult than moving a toddler in a car, because they do not make seats for that beast, and I think it's even more fragile than a toddler. So it got some pretty creative packaging. The most exciting part about that trip to the store was that it was all for nothing. They didn't even want to look at the monitor and just sent us back. And I think this trip was actually enough to scare it back to life. You wonder how? Me too, because the next thing that I was completely ready to do is to give it away for parts to my partner, who really wanted to open up some corpses. Mechanical corpses. He likes mechanicals. Anyway, this whole story took a few weeks, and by the time we were ready for the autopsy, the monitor was standing still without anything connected to it for maybe 10 days. And as a last act of hope, I tried turning it on. And let me show you what happened. Do you see this menu? This menu did not exist before the trip to the store. I don't know what happened. How did my monitor get an extra menu? Was it shaken up to consciousness? Did it get an extra software update by being put in a car? I live in the Netherlands. We don't have bumpy roads, so I have literally no answers to that question. But I got a new menu and no flickering. Now I have Christmas wallpaper without any signs of blinking pixels. I want to believe in this Christmas or Black Friday, in this case, miracle, but it kind of feels like I'm working with the zombie. Every time I'm using it for work, I keep seeing these blinking pixels, although they're not even there. I'm just really afraid that it's gonna happen again. And I still want to make this video talking about the monitor, because I have to tell you, the format is amazing, but I don't want to show people something that is not working very reliably and dies as soon as the warranty is over. I don't know for how long we're gonna keep working together. I really hope that it's gonna stay okay for upcoming years, but who knows. So that's my story. Everything was pointing to a complete and disastrous death of a monitor and the necessity to buy a new one. And yet here we are, back together, resurrected, or a living dead. I think we're gonna wait and see.